Yo, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Homie Hector here. 2003 Nissan Altima 2.5 liter engine. It was in here because it had a check engine light, had some misfire codes. The problem was one of the ignition coils, and we also had a P0420. I cleared the codes. I've been driving it around, and I don't see a P0420 yet, but I know it's gonna come back. All right, so let me start it up. I'll show you that there's no check engine light. Then we'll go to the scanner, and then we're gonna try something to see if we can help this one out a little bit, okay? 2003 Nissan Altima 2.5. Battery is a little weak. Don't mind the battery. No service engine soon. No check engine light. Nothing on the dash. All right, so let's go to the scanner and look at some data. All right, so once again, I'm using the Top-Down AD600. And I've already communicated with this car, so I'm just gonna do a quick health report. Actually, let me cycle the key. Turn it off and leave the key on. All right, key is on. Lights are on the dash. All right, so you can see right away, engine no fault code detected. And it's just gonna keep going through all the modules. And we're gonna wait for it. Top-Down AD600, pretty good scanner. Link down in the description if you want to check it out. I want to show you that this catalytic is actually going bad, or is actually bad. So we're gonna go drive it. We're gonna look at the upstream and downstream O2s. No DTC detected. Further testing may be required, of course. All right, so we're gonna go into data stream. Sensor 1, sensor 2. That's all I want to look at right now. Sensor 1 and sensor 2. We're going to combine these two sensors in a graph, and we're going to start it up and see what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to let it run for a little bit, and we're going to watch these O2s. The light blue is the upstream, and the darker one is the downstream. All right, so the upstream is going to be oscillating up and down, and the downstream should be pretty steady if the catalytic is doing its job. All right, now a couple things you got to know is this catalytic has to be warm, okay, for you to test it properly. So make sure your car is warm and is up to operating temperature before you condemn a bad cat. Make sure the engine is running properly. Make sure you don't have any misfires. Make sure the car is not burning oil, burning coolant, because all of that is going to ruin your cat. When you're testing it, you're looking at it like this. The upstream is oscillating up and down. The downstream looks pretty steady. We're looking at it, it looks fine. But I'm going to rev it up to about 2,000 to 2,500, and we're going to see if there's any changes. And we're just going to watch the upstream and downstream. All right, so that was revving it at 2,500 RPM, and you can kind of see some activity on the downstream O2. It kind of wants to move up and down with the upstream, but it's not quite there. Okay, so this is probably not going to turn on your check engine light. So what we're going to do now is go drive it while looking at these O2 sensors, okay? All right, let's go. All right, check it out. Still no check engine light, but that doesn't mean the cat is good, okay? So we're just gonna wait, take it back home, and we're gonna look at this data real quick. All right, so this right here is steady cruising about 40 miles per hour. And you can see right here that the downstream O2 and the upstream are pretty much doing the same thing. So this right here indicates a bad catalytic converter. So what I wanna try right now is one of those spark plug fowlers or non-fowlers, and see if it helps out with these readings right here. Because this right here is eventually gonna turn on the check engine light with a P0420. And this is why he's not passing smog. All right, so I'm gonna try that out real quick. We're gonna see if it improves anything. All right, so check it out. We got the upstream O2 sensor right here and the downstream right there. All right, so pretty easy to access. All right, so we're gonna try it out. I'm gonna let the engine cool down a little bit, and then we're gonna get to it. But first, I'm gonna drill these out. All right, so I got the O2 sensor right here. Basically, the hole that we need to drill has to be bigger than that little sniffer. This one measures right under 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna go with a 1/2 inch hole, and that's gonna be just right. So let me get the little chingaderas and start drilling. All right, so this is what it looks like after you drill that 1/2 inch hole. So this is gonna be on the exhaust, and it's gonna look something like this. Now this is supposed to push it away about 1/2 inch so that it doesn't read the gases and we don't get a P0420. I've seen people actually use 2 of these, and that pushes it even further away, but I don't think that's necessary on this one. We're gonna start off with 1, then we're gonna drive it, look at the data, and see if we got any kind of improvement. All right, I got the O2 sensor with the non-fouler in there, and just like before, sensor 1 and sensor 2. So the upstream is already oscillating up and down. All right, this thing is looking pretty good. Let me go on a test drive, get the cat nice and warm, and then we're gonna see what it really looks like. Okay, so let's go. It kind of looked like we had a small improvement there, but you can kind of see the downstream moving up and down. Not too much, but it is following the upstream. Maybe if we use the other spacer, it'll help it out a little more. But I mean, once a cat is done, it's done, you know. So you might be able to get away with this in the beginning stages of a failed cat, but this one has probably been done for a while. I mean, if it either looks like this, where it's kind of mimicking the O2, following it up and down, then chances are your cat is done. Most cats have 9 lives, not this one. We're gonna see. I'm gonna give the customer back his car, and I'm gonna follow up with him in about, I'd say, a week, and he's gonna let me know if the P0420 came back or not. That's gonna be it for this one. Spark plug foulers, do they work for O2s? Do they work as a lifeline for catalytic converters? Yes or no? What do you think? Drop your comments down in the comment section below. That's gonna be it for this one. I'll see you guys on the next one.